Hello everyone, I'm Panera and I'm here doing sort of a solo thing for you. I know a few people have requested that I do more episodes just with me so that there's less confusion and randomness going on, so that's what I'm going to do. I wasn't going to release anything until the next In Control episode is done recording, which is tomorrow, Friday. But I was awoken early this morning by my phone leaving the ringer on. I got an update of something extremely cool. So we're going to talk about actually how the Zerg go about doing their genetic manipulations, which is, I mean, I'm by no means a professional at genetics and things like that. I, in fact, did not take very much of it in university, but I know enough to get through. And for our purposes, we actually don't need a whole lot. We don't need to know every little tiny detail, but we can get a rough idea of how the Zerg do things. So I will actually put the links to these in the description below. But the thing that woke me up was this article had been sent to me entitled Retrovirus in the Human Genome is Active in Pluripotent Stem Cells. Now, those are some pretty big words, and I don't expect a lot of people to really understand what they mean, so I'm going to explain them to you. A retrovirus is basically an RNA virus. So as opposed to using DNA, they're using RNA, which is a little bit less durable. It's sort of the precursor to what DNA was sort of way in the past. Basically, the RNA virus goes into a host cell and replicates in it. So it basically uses its own genetic material, its own what's called reverse transcriptase. I'm reading this off of Wikipedia because, like I said, I'm not the best with genetics and certainly not the best with virology. Anyway, they use their own reverse transcriptase enzyme to produce DNA from its RNA genome. So basically, then this new DNA is incorporated into the host's genome by a series of other enzymes as well. So that's something that, I mean, we've known for a long time that that's how they work. But what's really cool about this recent discovery is this retrovirus called HERV or HERV-H actually inserted itself into the human genome millions of years ago. And this is something that I mentioned before. There's actually a hepadnavirus that had inserted itself into the passerine certain songbird genomes and had gone about sort of in that all-in method of, okay, well, I don't have to do anything to survive, but then again, my fate won't be in my hands. So it's sort of an all-in method of going about reproducing your genetic code. Basically, why this is important is because pluripotent stem cells are those notorious little cells that are capable of basically turning into all types of tissue. They're the ones that, especially down in the States, people are crying a whole bunch about and saying, oh, it's amoral, blah, 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 and flipping out about without really knowing what's going on. So these are really, really potent stem cells. So why this is important is because you actually have the retrovirus has the its genome actively in the pluripotent stem cells. So if you think about how a Zerg egg forms, you've got the larva, right? It presumably has all of the different DNA and the capability to become literally anything. If it becomes a drone, it can become any of the buildings, or it can become, an infestor or a Zergling, or two Zerglings, in fact. So it's got that same pluripotent ability, which makes me think that, yeah, there's probably some aspect of stem cells going on, like they've got a large reservoir of stem cells that they start replicating and utilizing as soon as the egg forms, and the decision is made of what it's going to ultimately become. And so why this is important is because this retrovirus could actually be, so using the retroviruses that inject DNA into the genome of the host cell, this could be how the Zerg are infesting things. And I think it's a very reasonable thing because a lot of times they do take, several efforts and several iterations to go through, and this would be several different waves of these retroviruses that they're using to basically manipulate the genes. So it's really cool that we actually have them in pluripotent stem cells. Like that to me is just ties everything in so beautifully that it actually explains, okay, well, this is probably what the Zerg are doing. So it's really cool. I will leave the link to the. I won't be posting the actual study. It's in the journal Retrovirology out of UMass Medical School. Because obviously I don't have the access to do that, nor do I have the copyrights and whatever else. But what I can do is link you to the Science Daily summary, which is really cool. kind of explains things in a layman's term and whatnot. And I'll link the link to Wikipedia as well for your convenience, so that you can just read up on what a retrovirus is. And don't forget to like leave your questions, comments, things like that. I do try to answer as many of them as best I can. I'm more active on the forums a little bit. I know Zappy's pretty good about answering things here on YouTube, but it's a little bit hectic, especially since we've had a few pretty cool people come on and control in Nova War. It's been quite busy. So, oh, and of course, welcome to all the people that joined us ever since the In Control episode. It was a lot of fun. We're actually going to be, I believe we're going to be live streaming it tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain on his stream, just the stream that you can find over at teamliquid.net. So I think we will. No guarantees, but I'll see what we can do. We'll be actually analyzing the latest cinematic from Heart of the Swarm, one where there's all the Zerg attacking and stuff like that. That gives us a lot of stuff to fool around with and whatnot. So anyway, make sure to tell all your friends and family, grandmothers, dogs, teachers, take it to school. All the pretty girls will come out of the woodwork, and you will be thrice laid at least. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening.